Hello. Wednesday. This is Frederick Wakliaka, and I have the pleasure of giving you the AI breach report. Wednesday 15th and Friday 17th July. So let us begin. Part 1, we start Wednesday edition, Incidents Intelligence 15th July 2026. This week delivered a reminder that the machinery most businesses depend on. First of all, let me give you a brief intro before we dive in. Every Friday and Wednesday, this brief cuts through the noise and delivers what business owners and senior leaders actually need to know about AI-related threats in plain language with clear actions. Welcome to the AI Breach Report. I'm Frederick Wakliaka, founder of Frederick Cybersecurity, and this is your combined edition for Wednesday the 15th and Friday the 17th of July 2026. This episode covers two full editions in one sitting. The first half is the Wednesday incident report, what happened this week. The second half is the Friday defense brief, what to actually do about it before Monday. If you are watching this on YouTube, subscribe now at Frederick Wakuliaka 4561. If you are listening on Spotify, well, I'll be on Spotify. Every episode will be on Spotify soon. Follow the show. This intelligence publishes twice a week, every week, and it is built for business owners and senior leaders, not technical specialists. So, this week in Wednesday edition, let's start with the Wednesday edition, which was 15th July. This week delivered a reminder that the machinery most businesses depend on without thinking about it, the servers that sign your logins, the platform that stores your documents, the software that runs your finance function, and now the artificial intelligence assistants writing your code became the target rather than the tool. For developments, stand out Microsoft's July update, the largest it has ever released, closed two weaknesses attackers were already using in the world. Japan's largest taxi operator was forced offline by a malware infection. SAP corrected a maximum severity flaw at the foundation of its enterprises resource planning platform. At the foundation of its enterprise resource planning platform, and researchers demonstrated a technique for hiding malicious instructions inside image files to make AI coding assistants quietly steal secrets. Let us story one, Microsoft's record patch Tuesday. Microsoft's July release corrected more than 600 vulnerabilities across over 150 security updates. The largest such release the company has ever shipped. Two of them were already being exploited by real attackers before a fix existed. The first is an elevation of privilege flow tracked as CVE 2026566164, excuse me, in on-premises SharePoint server. It lets an attacker who has not logged in reach the server over the network and gain elevated standing. The severity score is modest, which is precisely the trap. A moderate rated bug that needs no credentials and can be reached remotely is exactly the kind of weakness that severity labels understate. The second, tracked as CVE 2026561555, affects Active Directory Federation services. the component that issues the trust tokens the rest of your Microsoft estate relies on. An attacker with even a small existing foothold can use this flow to climb to administrator. Neither flow was on the US government's public list of non-exploited vulnerabilities at the time of disclosure. Microsoft's own rating already marks both as exploited. The guidance is not to wait for the official catalog listing before reaching. The guidance is not to wait for the official catalog listing before treating these as urgent. Story 2, Japan's largest taxi operator goes dark. Nihon Kotsu, Japan's largest taxi and chauffeur operator, suffered a cyber attack on the morning of Saturday, the 11th of July. The company detected a malware infection and responded by disconnecting its own systems to maintain it. Car hire, web booking, reservation management, telephone dispatch, and several internal services all went down. This is a business with more than 18,000 employees and a fleet of thousands of vehicles, and customers could not book a taxi through the company's own channels. There was no ransom note, no confirmed data theft, yet the business stopped serving customers for days. The lesson here is not about the malware, it is about what happened next. The company's own rapid disconnection, pulling systems offline immediately, rather than trying to keep trading through the intrusion, appears to have successfully contained the spread. The damage came from the containment decision itself, not from the attacker directly. That is the trade every organization faces in a live incident. This is the trade-off every organization will face in a live incident. So, story 3, SAP's critically July security notes. SAP is a German company. This is the critical July security notes. SAP shipped its July security notes this week, and the most severe finding, tracked as CVE 2026-44747, is a memory corruption weakness in the NetWeaver application server, ABAP, the foundation underneath a large share of core SAP business systems. In plain terms, an unauthenticated attacker can exploit flaws in memory handling to potentially read or alter data or take the system down entirely. Two further critical flaws accompany it: an HTTP request smuggling issue in AppRouter and a hard-coded credential issue in Commerce Cloud. If your finance, human resources, or supply chain functions run on SAP, this is a patch cycle that cannot wait for a quiet maintenance weekend. Story 4, Ghost Commit, hiding instructions inside images. We've heard of Ghost Commit before. I think I've talked about Ghost Commit about like last week and the week before. It's been coming up and again. The fourth story is the one that should concern any firm now allowing artificial intelligence into its software development. Researchers disclosed the technique called Ghost Commit. Yeah, this is why it's been recurring. This is a new technique, Ghost Commit. It hides it's a technique that hides malicious instructions inside ordinary image files. Automated code reviewers scan text. They do not open image files. Neither do most human reviewers. So an instruction hidden inside a picture Automated code reviewers scan text. They do not open image files. Neither do most human reviewers. So an instruction hidden inside a picture passes straight through review and is executed later in a separate session when an AI coding assistant reads that image and quietly exfiltrates the project's secrets disguised as harmless looking build output. So this is what the technique they call ghost commit. The same research found that the large majority of merged code across hundreds of public repositories reached the main branch with no meaningful human review and no automated review at all. That is the structural gap this technique exploits. That is Wednesday. 4 incidents, each touching infrastructure, a 50 to 100 person firm almost certainly runs. Now, what to actually do about them? Part two. This is the Friday edition. I've been through the Wednesday edition. Now I'm coming to the Friday edition, which is defense. It is totally defense oriented. This is the briefing whereby we tackle the how. So Friday does not retell Wednesday's incidents. It answers the only question that matters once you know what happened. What should a 50 to 200 person firm actually do about it before the weekend? This is on Friday we discuss how a 50 to 200 person firm, what it actually needs to do about what we uncovered on Wednesday, what the 250 to 200 person firms should do before the weekend about what Wednesday's issues. So, 4 priorities. Confirm the 2 exploited Microsoft flaws are patched on every internet-facing and identity adjacent server. One of them carries a federal remediation deadline that falls today. So get the SAP correction into an emergency maintenance window. Ask what happens to revenue if your primary booking or dispatch platform goes offline for 4 days, and restrict what your AI coding tools are permitted to read. Defending against the operational disruption incident. 3 lessons from the Nihon Kotsu incident in Japan, and none of them are about the malware itself. First, pre-authorize the containment decision now. Give a named person standing authority to sever a compromised system or to server. It's severing, that's the word to use, to sever a compromised system without waiting for a meeting, and make clear in advance that a fast overcautious shutdown will never be treated as a mistake. Containment speed is the variable that most determines whether an intrusion costs a weekend or a quarter. Second, build a genuinely independent fallback. Nihon Kotsu kept some service running because a separate mobile app ran an infrastructure that shared nothing with the systems that failed. Identify the 1 or 2 platforms whose failure would stop your business taking money, and make sure the fallback does not share servers, network segment, or credentials with the primary system. Third, prepare your customer communication now. A disclosed outage is an open invitation to phishing that impersonates you. Have a short pre-approved message ready before you need it. Keep it in the closet. It may come in handy. Patching in the right order. You cannot patch 600 flaws at once. Sort by evidence of active exploitation, not severity score. Patch every internet-facing SharePoint server and every Active Directory Federation services host first. The federal remediation deadline for the SharePoint flow falls today. If you cannot complete the maintenance window immediately, Microsoft's interim mitigation enabling full request body scanning through its Animalware scan interface buys time without leaving the door wide open. Watch for scope creep. Watch for scope creep. One of this month's SharePoint remote code execution flaws was initially rated merely likely to be exploited, then updated midweek to confirmed active exploitation. Treat your patch program as event-driven, not a fixed monthly ritual. For SAP, apply the NetWeaver correction as a priority through the support portal, where immediate patching is not possible. SAP and independent researchers have described the temporary work around disabling specific Internet Communication Framework nodes. It is a stopgap, not a fix. Closing Ghost Commits door. When we want to close Ghost Commits door, 3 controls, and none of them require buying a new product. Restrict what your AI coding tools can read. Keep credential and configuration files out of the directories the assistant routinely accesses. Hold secrets in a dedicated vault, not plain text. Close the review gap deliberately. Treat any non-text attachment introduced through a change request as something to inspect, not ignore. And monitor. The theft in this technique happens quietly later in a separate session. The only reliable catch is watching for AI agents attempting to read credentials or configuration files and treating any such attempt as an event worth investigating. So 3 decisions before Monday. 1, confirm every internet-facing SharePoint and ADF server is patched. The federal deadline is today. 2, schedule the SAP NetWeaver fix into an emergency window, not next quarter. 3, instruct whoever manages your AI coding tools to restrict what they can read, starting today. So looking ahead, the next incident edition returns to newly disclosed events on Wednesday. Expect continued exploitation of this month's identity flaws. Any SAP window that will narrow as attacker interest grows. And further techniques that turn trusted AI tools against their owners. So this is the week's AI breach report. If this was for, share it with a business owner who needs to hear it. I'm Frederick Wakulieka. Stay patched, stay skeptical, and I will see you in the next 2 hours. I'm coming back. I have this brief this week's intelligence update, Monday to Friday. The daily updates, the summary of them. So I'll be back with that. Website is frederickcybersecurity.com, which is at the moment going through a serious revamp. Frederick Wakuliaka 45. So with that, I think I'll see you again today. I have another issue for the week ending coming up, and I don't want to leave it until tomorrow or the day after, because I'll have the weekend's briefing to give a look at and to publish. So with all that said, With all that said, I'll see you shortly.